So, Fatman,
So sleazy.
it's going to be an entire hour and a half of that, isn't there?
Hour and a half of what?
Well, we'll find out on the wrestling show. Welcome, everyone. This is Sleazy.
It's the Fatman.
And welcome, everyone, to another wonderful episode. Fatman, of course, watching something else other than the show. But today,
I am watching football.
that's what I was referring to earlier. Today on the show, the only gold medalist. Forgot the bit. There we go. Only gold medalist on the show, Mr.
Metalist.
We all doing this evening. Get ready to talk some just wrestling in general, I guess.
Yeah, we're kind of we kind of do this once a year ish. One of our many once of the year shows where you kind of look at what's happened over the past 12 months or so, and just get an idea of like a litmus test of what's going on in the professional wrestling industry as of today. The reality is this. We've had so many big storylines over the course of last year in not just WWE, but also AEW, also in the indies with JBL. A lot of shit's gone on in GCW. A lot of shit's gone on in TNA. A lot of people have moved around. A lot of people have debuted in places that they have never been in before. As of yesterday, I want to say, at least one major indie wrestler is no longer taking indie bookings. A lot of things are going on. So let's get right into it. Let's talk specifically WWE to start. I'll throw it to you, Fatman. What? Now we were kind of trying to be a little open ended with this. So, what are your thoughts about how WWE has been going over the past 12 months, over 2024?
They can do no wrong. I mean, they. I think when we were discussing it, we were discussing like if pick one thing we like about one company and then one thing we would want them to improve on. WWE is firing on all cylinders as of this moment, as of November 19th, 2024 at 8:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Daylight. We're in daylight.
Eastern America time. The one thing I think they can focus on is the tag teams, really. Like, I think they're kind of... They have really good tag teams, but they're just... I don't know. They're just not performing at that level. So, but that's like a nitpick, really. Like, other than that, they're making more money than any wrestling company's ever made in the history of professional wrestling. That's not going to change within the next calendar year. That's actually going to get better. They're running more stadium shows. They're selling them out. Their attendance has been better. Their ratings have been what it is. People are just digesting the product differently nowadays.
Yeah.
So it's... It's just...
Translation means
what was that?
Translation means that
Fatman's tired.
Is so well, and that he's absolutely exhausted.
I am. I'm beat. But yeah. I mean, they really can't do any wrong. And I mean look at 5 years ago in 2019 where Roman Reigns was doing fairy tales and eating dog food, and now he's the biggest star in the industry. So times have changed, and when we get to another company that that's going to be a little bit different too. But no, WWE can really do no wrong at this moment. They're promoting great. They're absolutely doing fantastic. I mean, yeah, there's nothing. I don't think anyone really debate that. That's not really debatable at this point. You can just nitpick a few things here and there, but other than that, yeah.
I'd kind of, I'll kind of piggyback off that because I feel like that there, obviously, there's always you can do better.
Yeah.
But I think WWE in 2024 is probably the best WWE we've seen in a long time. In terms of gate revenue, in terms of sellouts, in terms of secondary income streams. This is the first year really that they did the whole sponsorship in the middle of the ring with Prime. You know, there's a whole another subset of new and different ways of advertisement that's bringing in money. They're starting more stadium shows that were not expected. You know, I think that they're doing a great job in expanding in ways that were unique. And frankly speaking, they're doing great.
I wouldn't be surprised. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. Like last year, they ran Elimination Chamber in a stadium. This year, I'm sorry, next year it's at Rogers Center in Toronto. It's a stadium show. I mean, their first 3 shows are stadium shows.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if going forward, all their PLEs are in stadiums.
I wouldn't be surprised, and this goes to my negative. I think
I already know where you're going. I already know
ticket
where you're going.
prices.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%. And full disclosure here. Obviously, we knew Philadelphia was going to be the host of WrestleMania. We knew it was going to be 2 nights. There are 2 times that you can get tickets for WrestleMania or any show that are decently priced. There's the day they go on sale and the day of the event. Any other time you're going to pay some sort of inflated price. We didn't buy them day one because they were expensive.
And we had jobs.
We have jobs. Yeah. We have lives. We need to pay for things.
Yes.
And I think at the time, that was the time where I dropped like an unbelievable amount of money to make sure the dog was fine.
Yeah.
So I was a little light on the cash. So we're like, fuck it, we'll wait till day of. Even day of, $700.
No, I found tickets for $100, but if you wanted to be back row freezing your ass off, which is another reason why I think they moved it to mid to late April.
I was talking about the 2-day tickets.
Oh, the 2-day tickets, yeah.
There was nothing under $700. One night. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But the point being, even $100, you aren't seeing shit in those fucking arena shows, those stadium shows.
No.
We went to WrestleMania in what was it, 34. Thank you. And we spent a decent amount of money for those seats, and they still weren't great.
We were lower bowl in the where the end zone would be at the Superdome, and it still felt like you were
so far away. So far away.
Yeah.
And full disclosure, we spent $250 a seat for those. You know, we thought we were throwing a lot of money at this show to get really good seats, and we did not. Which kind of, to be fair, kind of soured my thought on this show as well, on WrestleMania. But the point I'm trying to say, and this is not unique to WWE, okay, to be fair. Part of the reason why they're so fucking expensive is because Ticketmaster. And we've gone on tirades about Ticketmaster before. It's gotten worse. Even despite, this is how bad it is. They pissed off Taylor Swift fans and got around it. It got through it. How nobody does that. That's how fucking insanely powerful Ticketmaster is. When you can sit there and look at the ticket prices for something, and Ticketmaster has the balls to charge 20% unlimited for service fees, so you're paying $4,000 on a $10,000 ticket to Ticketmaster because they had the balls to give you the opportunity to buy those fucking tickets. Fuck you. But that being said, even the face value of those tickets are pretty goddamn high. Now, obviously, when you're talking about a stadium show, there's a lot of money that goes into production. There's a lot of money that goes into putting these shows together. There's a lot of incidental stuff that happens around the stadium that isn't in the control of WWE. Food and beverage needs to be paid. The stadium fees need to be paid. The janitors even need to be paid. Everybody needs to be paid. But it also goes to the bottom line of the tickets. You're going to start pricing your own audience out of the market. And that's my biggest complaint, and that's my biggest concern. And spoiler, it's one of the things that AEW is also doing. But the difference is you're seeing the problem more than you're seeing it in WWE, because WWE has a fan base that's big enough that can tour with them. So you're seeing a lot of people that, let's say they're going to, they're having SummerSlam in Cleveland, right? A lot of people weren't from Cleveland and went to that show.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because they're bringing people in. Because the people, I hate to say this because it's terrible, but it's money marks. And frankly speaking, that's their bread and butter now. It's not the super, super casual fan that's got 3 kids that's bringing their family to these shows anymore. And that's the other side effect of not running live events anymore. Because the minimum that you'll have to pay is a lot higher now, because the minimum you're going to is a Raw or a SmackDown. So there's another piece of that business that, yes, you may not be making money per se on those shows, those house shows, which is true. Everyone and their brother will say that. But on the other side, you're losing that cheap entry into professional wrestling.
I always thought house shows, this is growing up, was a loss leader. If anyone knows what a loss leader is, it's basically you're giving away something so that you can make money on something else. And it's one, experience for the wrestlers. You get to try new shit. 2, merch revenue. Maybe you're breaking even on house shows, but house shows are beneficial. They're not stopping doing house shows. They're just running less of them now. There's like one weekend, maybe, I think. Maybe if I remember. By looking at their schedule, I've looked at it a couple of days ago. But then there's another thing about that too, is when they're running less shows, now they're running less B and C towns.
Yeah.
They're only running A towns now, which means they're not coming to Rochester. They used to come to Rochester twice a year. Normally one for a TV taping and one for a house show. Mm-hmm. And then they stopped doing the TV taping, and then they just started doing the house shows. Now I don't even think they're coming to Rochester I don't think they came to Rochester in 2024. I don't think so.
Yeah.
And if they did, it was a house show. I mean,
so
they're going to run Buffalo and Albany over Rochester and Syracuse. That's just how they're going to do it. So you got to travel 90 minutes or 2.5 hours to go to these shows.
I'm trying to quickly get their numbers.
But anyway, heavy G. Go ahead.
Well, you guys covered basically everything in the first 15 minutes of the show.
Sorry.
So it's but I agree. Maybe the only thing that we talked about this, the only thing I could really nitpick on is to me they're just drawing the New Day storyline out so much. But boy, I loved when Rhea just came out and said 2 words, "War game," and then headbutted freaking. I mean, and I know a lot of this like the new way, like you mentioned, with the marketing, bringing in money and everything else. I think the fact that Vince is no longer in the picture elevated Triple H elevated everybody's game. And I mean the storylines are good. I don't know about the tag team like Batman said. I mean if they had great tag teams, they wouldn't have had to bring in the Motor City Machine, in my opinion. But you have
Yeah.
I don't I disagree with that kind of a little bit because I mean who wouldn't want the more machine
well,
guns?
I get that,
So,
but I mean,
They're ending their career there.
yeah,
Yeah.
and let's face it, with some of these talent, they don't grow up wanting. And this may sound negative to AEW because AEW wasn't around or TNA. When you grew up, you wanted to be in WWE. When you're
right.
becoming a professional wrestler, you want to be in WWE. Even when we interviewed Angel, she says, "I want to be in WWE."
Yes.
Like so, that's she said. Basically, she's like, well, if my career ends without being in a fine, being in AEW, absolutely fantastic. That's a great goal to have because they have a TV deal, get plenty of exposure. But people don't on the indies out don't be like, oh, I want to be in AEW. They have a better chance to be in AEW, which is absolutely fantastic. They Everyone wants to be in WWE.
Everyone.
Everybody wants to be on a WrestleMania at least once.
Yep.
That's the goal. And if you don't have that goal, I'm sorry. What are you doing in the business?
Oh, I 100%
Like to make money, which is absolutely fantastic.
I
But
mean, to be fair, I will rebuff that a little bit because there's a lot of guys out there. Brutal Evans, I've talked very highly about on the show. I think that Brutal Bob Evans's philosophy of you're in this as a business, there's ways to make money in this business that don't include being a top paid superstar at WWE. That being said, there is something to be said about certain people, and I'll be frank, I was one of them because I would. There is always been a thought about me. I wanted to be part of pro wrestling. You know, I always wanted to be on a TV show, but I didn't necessarily want to be on WWE because there was a point in time where you looked at the talent contracts versus what I was making in my field, my current field of information security. I'm never going to get to that point. Like never. There's no reason for me to try and make it to WWE unless I want to make it like huge. And I'm a 300-pound, 5'9" piece of shit that can't even keep his breath up for 2 minutes. There's no way I'm going to be able to do a 10-minute match. And managers don't make shit. You know what I mean? So there's no way, there's no reason for me to go there. And there's a lot of professional wrestlers that are shorter. They're not as bulky. They don't have the ability. They don't have the look. Now, there are always exceptions to that rule. Bryan Danielson being a big one of that. But they're for the reality, unless you're 6'7", you ain't making it in WWE. At least not till maybe 2 years ago. You know?
how you buff that too, maybe 10 years ago, 20 years ago, but okay.
I mean, it was
when
a land.
Vince
It
is
was
still there.
it was the land of giants.
It's yeah.
I mean, when you look, it was look at the champions back then. You had Hogan,
20
Ultimate
years
Warrior.
20 years ago was Hogan. Think again.
I'm not. Oh, I'm just saying, but
Oh yeah, I mean, okay, sorry, 17.
yeah, I mean, but even though you have Roman Reigns is what
He's 6'4", I
six
think.
6'4", 6'5". You have the title on Braun Strowman, Brock Lesnar. You have the title on him. Hell, you even gave Goldberg a run with the damn belt. I mean, it was always. I mean, there were some exceptions. Shawn, Brett,
Benoit,
Cody.
Eddie.
Yeah, but Cody is 6'2".
Yeah.
I mean, he looks small in comparison to everybody else around him,
Right.
but he's not small.
Well,
And that's the other thing about it, is that we look at it from a TV perspective and go, yeah, this guy's not that big. This guy's not that big. Kevin Owens is 3 inches taller than I am. And he's pretty short in comparison to a lot of the other guys on TV right now.
I mean, that's why I think it was so hard to have Rey Mysterio be a champ, be a believable champ back then. I mean, how the hell is he going to beat the Big Show? How's and stuff like that. Even like I said, in the early '80s, I mean, you had Hogan, Warrior, you had Kevin Nash, which is what's surprising. He didn't have the title on Vader at all because he liked big guys.
That's Sean's
Leon
fault.
I was gonna say Leon's was an asshole too.
But
let's move on.
Okay, yeah, I think there's something to be said there, though. I think FEG's got a very good point there, and it's just the reality of the professional wrestling industry. Yeah, let's get on to AEW, because we've already gone through 20 minutes of this. Let's start with Heavy G. What are your thoughts about AEW as a whole?
It's a good alternative if you're watching, if you're a WWE fan and you're looking for something else. TNA, AEW, good. But to me, I think they're bringing way too many ex-WWE guys and gals in. I think there's just way too much, and they're watering it down. Plus, some of the stuff that they're doing on their pay-per-views, to me, is absolutely ridiculous. Case in point, the Swerve Hangman match.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's just some shit that just goes overboard that you don't need to do. And it just seems like, I don't know. It just, to me, they're going to a point where at some point they're not going to be able to go back. And like I've said this a couple of times on the show, like Cornette said, first it's the table, then you put the table on fire, then you have to have HIV infected needles on top of the fire, the top of the table that's on fire, and then you have to have pit bulls around the thing that have rabies. It's just, at what point is it? You can't. At a certain point, you can't top what you're doing, and then you're left with people that are just like, oh, okay. Great.
Then 2001 happens.
Yeah, yeah. I think the product's going to think they could have great storylines. I love the Moxley storyline right now with the Blackpool Combat Club. But
NWO for life, son.
That's what I mean. I mean, if they're taking, I
It's
guess
the NWO off Wish.
I was going to say Temu, but
Same thing.
It just seems like they're just rehashing. I get it that there's, how many times can you invent the wheel? Like, you have to. So much stuff has been already done. To try to come up with something new is hard. I get that, but if it's done right, it's okay if it's repeated. Mm-hmm. But you better make sure you get it right, because I just think, and I like it because they're not, unlike the NWO. 90% of the roster's
not on.
It's not NWO, exactly. So yeah, I like that. There a lot of people. Well, WWE's too are getting a lot of injuries. I was going to say, the fact that WWE's not doing a lot of house shows helps with their roster not being injured as often. But
there's an argument to be made for both sides that, you work more, there's a chance to get injured more. There's also an argument to say, hey, you're in ring shape, and if you work less, you get out of ring shape, you cause injuries. It's an argument both ways. But
even people who train, not just in professional wrestling, just train in general, will talk about either you stretch before you do your workout or you don't stretch, but you don't do one or the other. Like
Yeah.
you don't change it up
Yeah.
because you will get hurt doing that.
Mhm.
And it's strange in that respect. But yeah, you're right. Go ahead.
You done, Heavy G?
Yeah, I'm but
Well, I mean, AEW pays their talent well. That's a plus. It's a place for people to work on TV. That's a plus. I, mean,
Wow.
yeah.
I tried watching Dynamite last Wednesday, and that first hour was so god awful. I had to turn it off. Like I had to. It was terrible. Like I don't say that often about a wrestling show, and I know I'm not the biggest AEW supporter. I tried, and I was just like, how are people watching this?
It's WWE light.
And that's even with their new TV deal, I still fathom how they make money. They only run 2 shows a week, and I don't know. Like, and their ticket sales aren't great. And I just read today that they haven't announced any. Last week. I'm sorry, not today. They haven't announced any TV tapings for January yet. Well, WWE's out here going to March with their TVs. This is the last week that I looked. They didn't announce any. They only had 3 shows on sale for 2025. That was the 3 pay-per-views they announced. That may have changed.
That might have changed because I got a according to our sources at AEW. I love saying this. This is crazy. They actually already announced all the way up to March 12th. And that is, and I got that not from a dirt sheet from AEW itself. So I was going to bring that up in once it got to me. But you're right. They're not selling. They're not selling out these 15,000 seat arenas. They're 10,000 seat arenas.
And their ratings are dropping,
Okay.
and dropping. They just have their second lowest heat demo ever this past Dynamite, I think.
It's because the demo god wasn't on.
Full Gear. I'm looking right now. Keep going. So, I just don't know. I don't understand what they're doing. They finally released Final Battle coming to Hammerstein Ballroom. That is now confirmed.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. There was a rumor there. They're doing a Dynamite from Hammerstein. World's End is in Orlando. Okay, here we go. Asheville, January 1st. Cool. Fight for the Fallen. I love that they still do fight for the Fallen. That's a good concept. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte, Clarksville, Tennessee, Athens, Georgia. So they're going to smaller venues now. Louisville, Kentucky, Knoxville, Tennessee.
That's what I was going to bring up.
Huntsville, Alabama, Houston, but in a smaller expo center. Looks like Austin, Texas, smaller arena. They got the Grand Slam. Phoenix at the Arizona Financial Theater. I don't think that's where the place play. Oceanside, California. Revolutions in Los Angeles at Staples. I'm still going to call it Staples.
It's always Staples. Even I know it's Staples Center.
Fresno, Arlington, we got that. Okay, Forbidden Door. Okay, so they do got it through. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so, but they're going to smaller towns, which is what they should be doing. And they shouldn't be, to be honest, they shouldn't be holding Collision on its own night in its own arena. They should be taping it during Dynamite. Is what they should be doing. So I don't understand that aspect of it, but they're still going to they're going to Athens, Georgia. They're going to where University of Georgia Bulldogs play. But okay, so at least they're realizing their limitations. That's accentuates the positives, hide the negatives. If you're filling 1,000 people in a 15,000 seat arena, maybe don't go to 15,000 seat arenas. They tend to be more expensive. So cut the costs there. Their talent roster is bloated and they keep adding.
Yes.
I'm happy to see that Orange Cassidy's main eventing a pay-per-view. I think it's his first one-on-one pay-per-view main event, because I think he was in a triple threat match during the pandemic.
Didn't he do
It
the
was with him.
Stadium Stampede too, as well?
One-on-one. First one-on-one.
Yeah. I know he's done other match types too.
Yeah. So, but
you're right. I think it is the first one-on-one.
So I'm happy to see that. He deserves it. Will he win the title? No. Should he? Yes, but the way that the storyline's going, I don't think so. I'm happy to see that. So they're still bringing in bigger names, but they're not pushing them to the main event. They're trying to keep in, their homegrown talent, which I hate that term.
For a company that's 5 years old, right?
A company that's 5 years old, and their world champion's a former WWE guy.
Yeah.
So I mean,
okay. Let's. I'm gonna challenge that a little bit, because yes, he was in WWE longer. I dare say he's a bigger star now.
No, he's
in terms of how they position him.
Okay. The definition of star there is what I'm like, well, let's just hold the breath.
I mean, is Josh Alexander the star of TNA?
No.
Who is?
Right now it's Dolph Ziggler.
Okay, so
and JBL.
Nick Nemeth and JBL.
Okay.
So
okay, that's fair. But outside of that, outside of the former
WWE guy. To be fair, I'm a huge Josh Alexander mark. I think he's one of the best wrestlers in the world. Is he a star? I don't think so. The definition of a star is you're going to draw money to the company. Maybe he has drawn money to that company relative to what they are. But Moxley, so I guess he's a bigger star. He's positioned better in AEW than it was WWE, 100%. Mm-hmm. Just AEW, and I keep saying this, has so much talent. Their depth is like so good, but the problem is they kind of have. Heavy G will give this analogy. They're the Baltimore Orioles of professional wrestling. They have so much talent, that instead of releasing them or trading them, they just stockpile it.
Right,
and then they don't know what they're doing with the other people on the roster.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at their roster now.
Oh, I wouldn't. Are you?
Gosh.
It's so stacked, but the problem is, it's like, what are they doing with this guy? What are they doing with this guy? What are they doing with this guy? What are they doing? You only have 4 hours of TV time a week for a roster of 100 or something people.
That's part of the reason why pay-per-views are 4 hours long, because they want to get all their shit in, so to speak. And
that's why they got. You can tell Ring of Honor is part of their talent too. Mm-hmm. So I mean, that's good. What's that? An extra hour, 2 hours? So you got 6 hours of TV time still for 100 people. Is a lot of TV. It's not a lot of TV time.
There's 125 on the men's roster.
That's the men's roster.
There's only
40 women, 15, I think.
20, 25, 30, 35, and you're at 39 on the women's roster.
It's pretty close.
Yeah.
Said 40.
So
I mean, like
almost 170 talent.
It's like, for what reason did you need to bring the Hurt Business?
I would defend that too.
Yeah.
I mean, I would defend that too. I mean,
go ahead, say it. They're stars.
They're not, though. But they're former WWE guys that had a stable that never got over that people wanted to get over, so they're going to get it over there. That's what that is.
They'll create the star power.
The
Like people are going to come to see that. That's going to draw.
Though?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Is it drawing now?
Specifically, they're drawing for this angle with Swerve. Don't forget, there's 3 white boys that are middle-aged in this room. We're not that demographic.
I understand that, but look at the ratings. Are they drawing?
No.
There you go.
I mean, you have.
So, but
you can also say that because right.
Who is though? And that's the thing. Like, and that's another reason why that's another reason you can kind of go to Heavy G. Go. Are they drawing? But also, you can also say, but they brought him in to try to draw that demographic in.
Right.
So you can play it both ways.
Yeah.
My thing is, if you're going to bring talent in like that, you got to start releasing talent. You have to start trimming some fat.
I disagree. That's the one thing I will absolutely 100% disagree on. You don't have to trim the fat because you've got unlimited money bags up there. As long as there's unlimited money bags and people are okay and are fine, and every once in a while you bring them in, that's fine. When you are looking at it from a business perspective, you're absolutely right. When you're looking at it as a public company perspective, you're absolutely right. This is still a private play thing for the clients.
Okay. I in this instance, yes, but also you have to start looking at it as a business now.
Right.
Yeah.
After 5 years, it's no longer a hobby.
It's no longer. If you aren't making money after 3 years, what are you doing? It's been 5. You can give
that's
you can give
90%
some of that
of professional wrestling right now. By the way,
you can forgive them for the pandemic years because they started in October of 2019. The pandemic hit that February. We were there. Shayna Blazer started it. Now, so you can forgive them for those first 2 years.
Maybe 2.
19 to about 2021, because I think they started doing live events again in 2021.
Yeah, figure about 2.5.
So 2.5 years. And then I will say 3, because you got to start getting that live crowd back. They got to start changing. They have to. And this is another big thing. And I know Sleazy's going to be like, well, do they? They have to start defining what a heel and a face is. And I've been saying this since 2019. Don't say this because they're not drawing the way they're doing. Yes, they do. 100% they do. Because you have WWE who has defined heels and faces who maybe not put on the better matches than them, but they're drawing because this guy's the good guy, this guy's the bad guy, and they're fighting because of this reason. In AEW goes, this guy's the good guy, this guy's the question mark. They're fighting because it's a dream match. That's their story. They need something different. They need a big angle with a defined face, a defined heel. They're fighting, and they're trying now with Moxley. They're at least trying. So I will give them that. They're trying something to help them out. They're getting better in that aspect of storytelling. They're improving that way. Have they? It's very hard to, when people are like this, it's very hard to have them switch back. And if they start losing out, WWE has proven time and time again that they can do it. They can get people to tune in again. Mm-hmm. It took Austin McMahon, and then it took Roman Reigns' bloodline to do that.
Right.
Mm-hmm. They need a big story like that to happen. They have the ability to do it. They got so many great minds to do that.
They have great minds.
So many.
And they have a lot of good talent that right now is on the back burner.
You know what the problem is? It's Tony Khan. He thinks he's wrestling booker. He needs someone smarter than him in that position.
Let me give you just a rundown of the current agents in AEW. Okay. Fat Chris Hero. start with.
Cassius Ohno, baby.
Yes. Chuck Taylor, obviously. Dean Malenko, Glacier, Jerry Lynn.
Glacier? No
Glacier.
wonder why.
Glacier,
No wonder
yep.
why.
Kevin Hey, blood runs cold for a reason. Kevin Matthews, Michael Nakazawa, Archie, Robert Evans, Sarah Stock, Scotty Tuhati, and Tony Schimmel. Those are your road agents right now. There is so much great talent back there.
And you have one that's being a manager right now that I think
Jake
is probably one of the greatest minds in the business.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be tapping into that kind of thing. But like I said, to me, you haven't heard Keith Lee on there for how long?
Yeah.
To be honest, Keith Lee's not great, so cool. But
I think
to be honest, he'll be perfect for the Swerve Hurt Business storyline. He would be, because he has history with Swerve.
yes.
So he'll be perfect for this storyline.
The problem is, and I'm just going to say this, Keith Lee has not recovered. And I don't know if that's physically or emotionally. But the Keith Lee that we saw in 2019, 2018, 2017, 2016 is not the same Keith Lee we see today.
Right.
And that is a fucking travesty, because I know for a fact that man can do way better than he's doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at his matches that he had in PWG.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
With Dijak, whatever he was back then, but still, it's just talent that you have so much talent that you can't, what are you going to do? Put him, I'm 30 seconds spot here to make sure, hey, he's still here. We're just not using him, but he's still here. It's like.
Just yes. I totally understand what you're saying. And I want to point out something else here. While we're kind of touching on numbers here, currently speaking, WWE runs 297 shows from January 1st to today. Okay, there's 297 events. Now that includes WWE Speed and all the little tiny bits and pieces shows, right? Currently, AEW has run 152 shows. So it's half the amount of shows with approximately the same amount of talent as WWE has, give or take. I think that there's something to be said about the fact that you've got a lot of people bench warming. But there's also, on the opposite side of that, if you need somebody in a pinch, they're ready to go. If you need them in a storyline, if you need them in a feud, and fucking Swerve's, busted his ass, or Adam Page got fucked up, or Kenny Omega's out for 6 months.
I understand that, and I get your point, but do you really need 100 talent to just be on standby?
I don't believe you do. No.
So if you're using 20 guys regularly, do you need 100 just sitting on their asses getting paid? The guys are probably loving it because they can also take independent bookings and stay fresh and make even more money, which is great for them. I'm not saying that AEW is not great for the business. I hate when people say, well, AEW is terrible for the business. No, it's not.
Never.
It's another place for somebody to work to make money. Yes. If they work. But they also have the contracts to let them be able to work anywhere they want to.
Right, because a lot of these guys are... Nick Wayne is a huge star in GCW and is constantly working for them while also being on TV on AEW.
Yeah. So, and it's absolutely fantastic they're around. I don't want them to go away. These are yes, I'm very harsh on AEW because I know they can do better. It's like a dad. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. Do better. Just do better. And that's my thing with AEW. Like, you can be an AEW fan all you want, but you got to realize, listen, this is not good. But you want to see something that you love succeed. And just because you have I still have passion for AEW. Sometimes I'm like, that's dog shit, and I will say it's dog shit. I even said when this wrestling show started, we were bashing WWE. They were not great booking, to be honest, in 2012. We were praising ROH for like 3-4 years even more, up to 2018, ROH was a better product than WWE. And it was a better product than WWE. Was it more successful? No, it was a better product. Now, WWE has turned stuff around. AEW is not a better product. It never has been. It's just an alternative. But I want them to be another ROH. This isn't the Monday Night War that people thinks it is. They're not on the same night. They're not competing against each other. They don't have the same audience. I'm sorry. They don't. Tony Khan's booking for Dave Meltzer. WWE's booking for the fans.
WWE is booking for the casual fan.
Casual fan. Thank you.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing I want to hang my hat on more than anything else. Is that AEW has truly become, the goal of AEW was to become the alternative. And in that case, they've succeeded on all parts, especially in 2024, especially with that horrific fucking match that was Swerve versus fucking Page. Because if that isn't an alternative to WWE, I don't know what is. You know what I mean? But in the same breath, you have a shit ton of talent there that can do all sorts of different things. They just need to find the refinement of, once again, booking. Tony Khan is not Booker of the Year. He never will be because he hasn't been in the business for 25 years. And that's their number one problem that I believe they need to solve is they need to find somebody who can book whose last name isn't Irvine. Because fuck Chris Jericho.
Well, and here's another thing. Like, I joke around saying that Meltzer's on AEW's payroll. I really do believe he is. Because I really do believe Tony Khan's going to Meltzer and asking him, what should I do?
What do you want? Yeah, what do you
I
want?
100% believe that. I really do.
Yeah.
And it shows. And then Meltzer, when he bashes AEW about booking, it's because it's something Tony Khan didn't do for him. It was something different. And 9 times out of the 10, it's like, well, that actually was the right thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I do. It's not a conspiracy theory. I really believe it in my heart that he's booking for Meltzer, and Meltzer's giving him ideas. I really do believe that.
Oh, by the way, WWE's roster current. What would you guess be?
Including NXT?
Including NXT.
212.
Yeah, I said 200. Yeah.
216.
Yeah. Like they have 3 brands that they can tour with though, if they wanted to tour.
But I'm looking through the roster. You're seeing a lot. To me, I'm seeing a lot of their roster on shows. I'm not seeing any. I'm not seeing.
To be fair, WWE has a 3-hour Raw, a 2-hour SmackDown, and a 2-hour NXT,
and a speed show.
So, and they also, I don't know if they're still doing like main event. I think they are, but they.
NXT Level Up. They're still doing?
Yeah. So
main event they are still doing too.
Okay, so
AEW,
they have 10 hours
versus 4?
3 or 4? No, Collision's only 3. Collision's only an hour.
Yeah, it's only an hour. So yeah,
sorry.
You have
which is why
35 less people and 7 less hours of TV time. Do the math.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. I totally understand that point. Here's my second criticism that kind of assuages that issue. One of the things that AEW prides itself on is being an alternative. WWE isn't doing house shows. What a perfect way to have a filled out roster doing house shows and bring back the $20 ticket. Because the reality is that that's a marketplace that's not being leveraged nearly as much.
Again, WWE is doing house shows. They're not just doing as much house shows.
They're basically getting rid of them.
They said they're cutting it basically down to like one starting next year, I think one a weekend.
One a weekend. Yeah. It's basically
Super
that's
shows.
52 shows a year.
Which
That
they're
are
going
house
to
shows.
But to Sleazy's point, 2 or more.
Yeah.
Your TV, you're basically a TV company right now.
You don't have to run 1,500 or 15,000 seat arena shows for all these shows.
No.
You could do the and I
2,300 arena.
You can.
Mm-hmm.
You can do those shows because you have a roster that's sitting on their ass, not doing anything for you. Those are great house shows where you can put 1 or 2 people, maybe 3 that are from TV to headline those shows. Fill out the rest of the roster with people that you're not using right now. They get an extra payday. They're in places that they're not normally at, and those shows can be cheaper, so they can be gateway shows to AEW. Because one of the things that they're missing is the casual fan, because WWE does that so well.
This is gonna sound, I'm gonna go, you're so fucking old. But wouldn't it be cool to run it like an old school territory, where you're at some place once a month?
So I see what you're saying.
That. First of all, they did try that.
I see what you're saying. Like, what did Memphis run? Evansville Monday, Memphis Sunday, Nashville Tuesday. I understand what you're saying. In this climate, that will not work. You'll kill the market.
To be fair, they did try that. They tried it at the esports arena in Arlington, I think it was, where they booked like every week for like 2 months, which included a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
For Ring of Honor. So you're right, they tried it, but as they probably found out, it didn't work because Batman's right, it killed the market.
WWE, I remember like 2008, WWE did a pay-per-view in Cleveland and it drew like 3,000 fans. But the problem was they went to Cleveland every month. So they killed the market. Like we joked on here before. AEW goes to Chicago 10 times a year because it was just a huge market. The Chicago crowds are slowly going down because you're going there.
You saturated it.
You're saturated it.
And not only are you saturated, well, here's the thing. On top of that is that not only is it you're going to Chicago 10 times a year, but you're not going to be able to get people to pay $200, $300, $400, $500, $600 to get good seats at this show 10 times a year. Oh, well, I'll just wait till the next one.
Yeah.
It's another thing when you're talking about an indie show where you're coming to these events every month because it's $15 and $10 for the kid because, we got to do all this shit.
Okay, Mo, shut up.
Going, right? The little $20, right? They'll come in. But I joke about that, obviously, but the reality is that's how you build a market. But you're doing that for an indie show who doesn't have TV, or barely on Twitch, or something of that nature. AEW is missing a core group of their money-making fans, which is the casual fans. And I think just touring around will solve a lot of those problems.
And you don't have to go to A towns to do that.
No.
And if you go to A towns, like you see on their schedule, they don't have to go to big arenas. You can go to the Blue Cross Arena here in Rochester.
Why the fuck aren't they?
I mean, I would say the Main Street Armory if it was running shows, but it's not running shows now. But I mean, you can go to the Blue Cross Arena. I mean, or there's several little smaller arenas here in Rochester they can go to. You can go to Binghamton. At their arena. You can go to Scranton. You don't have to go to big towns.
Here's the thing about this, and this is one of the disconnects that a lot of professional wrestling fans have because they don't understand it from a optic standpoint. When you fill a 500-seat arena with people who are passionate about your product, it's going to look so much better than 2,000 people in a 5,000-seat arena. That should be their bread and butter, and it's not.
No. All right, we're going along here. ROH, they need a TV deal.
It's simple as that. I mean,
they need a TV deal, and it's not on Honor Club where only 5 people pay to watch them. They need a TV deal. TNA, they need a better TV deal.
Right.
I know that Anthem owns the station that they're on, so it's kind of like, it's free, but I think they need a bigger deal too. TNA's great. They're absolutely fantastic. They just need more eyes on the product, to be honest. They need better marketing too. This has been their best year in years, which is absolutely fantastic, and I love it. But they can be so much bigger than they are, and they're just not, and it saddens me.
I think WWE helping them up a little bit is going to do wonders for them and in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm so glad for that. I hope it continues. I don't know if it will, but it was a great few months of that. So I can only hope for that. I want to talk really, 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 really quickly about the indies. I know FEG, Fatman, not really in the indie scene as much as I am, but even so, I'm not nearly in as much anymore either, to be fair. GCW is the big indie fed, obviously, right? But there's other indie feds out there. Excite, we talked with Angel about all that stuff. MCW is a big one.
ECW.
I'm never going to live that down. All right.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
This is why you never let Sleazy pick to go to any shows.
That's also true.
You leave it to me.
I brought him to Stardom, to be fair.
What, that 90-minute show we paid how much for?
Way too much.
Considering I could have been to the Ring of Honor show and
we definitely
They got front row seats for like $50.
Full disclosure, that absolutely should have happened. But the only reason why it didn't is I'd already bought the tickets, and Tony Khan didn't even announce the fucking event till like 3 weeks before the event actually happened.
That is true.
If there was a choice, we would have been going to Ring of Honor, no doubt.
Oh, we almost went there anyway.
We almost went there anyway. You're absolutely right. But the indie scene in 2024, I'm probably going to. I hate saying this, but a lot of the stars have left the indies. There's a lot of people that are kind of floundering right now because of it. The Mustafa Ali,
New Japan in 2019.
Basically, yeah, they're in a rebuilding phase. And I think the biggest people there, the biggest promotions that are suffering are places like GCW, because they try and book guys like Zilla Fatu, who probably holds them up for money, which actually was a thing that happened in this year. Like, what the fuck, dude? But the reality is that there's nobody that quote unquote draws. The draw is ECW / GCW. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's the name brand, the Game Changer Wrestling brand draws the crowds, and they're leaning heavily on that. And I appreciate the fact that they're leaning heavily on that, but they're not pulling like deep, heavy duty people in there outside of Cardona, who's obviously reinvented himself. Every once in a while, JBL shows up, but the reality is that they're kind of in a little bit of a dip. And part of the reason for that is that they all went to AEW, WWE, TNA. They're making a name for themselves in the next step up, which is great, wonderful. Now we need to find new stars. And I think there's a whole crop of professional wrestlers that are coming up that are starting to make a name for themselves, but just aren't there yet. There needs to be more mentorship in the indie wrestling scene. I think that's one of the biggest takeaways right now. The indies as a whole doing a great job, though, filling stadiums. For fuck's sake, GCW went to Hawaii. What the fuck, dude?
Nobody goes to Hawaii.
Nobody draws in Hawaii. GCW did. GCW is a worldwide company now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not something that you could say for even fucking TNA a few years ago. So that being said, Japan, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Noah, all them. The best thing that they've got is if they're going to go back into the American wrestling scene, they need to partner with AEW or WWE again.
Yep.
Because they're simply New Japan Strong is fucking
Dead.
useless. It's useless. The LA Dojo, yeah, great, awesome. It's nothing. Fred Rosser, I love you, but come on. You're not drawing for them. You really aren't. So, Tom Lawler, another guy that wasted in the New Japan Dojo.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but that's my opinion.
No, I agree. New Japan, they're kind of, I mean, floundering right now. I'm glad that that put the title on Sabre Jr. Hopefully I doubt he's going to hold it for a while. Him versus Ricochet is going to be a great match, but I don't think Ricochet's winning that. Yeah, we used to cover Dominion every year, and now it's just like, when's the last time we even watched? That's Wrestle Kingdom now, and that's it. So I mean,
I will watch Dominion, but I don't think we've covered a New Japan show outside of Wrestle Kingdom in what, 3 years? 2 years?
couple years, yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing interesting on it, like, so
Yeah.
yeah.
In fact, I think the last show we covered that was New Japan was the one we went to. The New Japan TNA show.
No, it was Wrestle Kingdom.
Did we
this year? Yeah.
Did we do Wrestle Kingdom actually this year?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. Which version?
Not much. I mean, cool. I'm trying to look at news and rumors real quick. Not much.
Let's hop in. Obviously, news and rumors. There, one of the things that we obviously kind of already covered was the fact that AEW has announced a bunch of shows in March, and we've kind of already covered that. But the upshot of it is that they are smaller arenas, and they're trying the smaller arena approach, and I hope it works for them.
This is what I didn't understand. Collision was in Albany.
You didn't know, did you?
Not a clue.
That's fucking ridiculous, man.
Not a clue.
That is absolutely ridiculous. Why is that even, what the fuck? Like, I don't know. I don't know what to say to that. We might as well talk about it. I know it's wrestling adjacent, but I think it's relevant to the conversation. Anybody watch Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson?
I didn't watch it. I just watched Mike Tyson on Dancing with the Stars. That's what I saw. I mean, that's what I saw. I don't know what else anyone else watching. Or some people are going to say, wait, you're actually able to watch it?
That's where I was going with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like,
I just see all these memes like NFL games on Netflix and just cues.
Here's the thing with those people with that. How's it going to work with WWE with that? I mean, if they had that kind of a freezing problem with...
Do you think 100 and something million people are going to watch Raw every week?
No, but it'll be 1 million. Maybe 2.
See what I'm saying? Like, they just didn't have the bandwidth for that many people to watch. It was a test. It was basically a test stream for Netflix.
I think it was
to do live sports. And
I think that's the big one is live sports and PLEs.
So will WWE 105 million? That's what Netflix said. 105 live viewers total, not concurrent, just total viewers logged in to watch that.
Right.
105, according to Netflix. So take that as it is. WWE's not going to get anywhere close to that, so I think they'll be okay. Yeah. This chair's all squeaky now. But I'm not worried about it. I mean, we won't have it for the next couple of years in Netflix anyway. I mean, Raw will be on there, but like PLEs won't. So
Mhm.
we'll be okay until that Peacock deal gets turned up. But
I think I think they'll always shop around, but at the end of the day, I doubt they're going to rip it off of Peacock.
you doubt it.
I doubt it. Yeah, either they'll go back to their own WWE network, or no, I wouldn't even say that, because they're either going to shop it around to other, um,
Places.
like I don't want to say Max, but like the Maxes, the Paramount Plus,
Yeah.
So one of the big things about Paramount Plus, is that if you have Walmart Plus, you get Paramount Plus for free.
I have Spectrum Mobile. I get Paramount Plus for free.
Yeah. There's a ton of places that give it away for free.
And you know what's funny? I've never logged into Paramount Plus. I get it for free. Never been on it.
Acknowledge your reigns, by the way.
Oh, okay. Cool.
No.
Oh, wrong
but-
figure. Sorry.
Oh, yikes. I think the reality is that it was more of a test for live sports than for WWE. Looking back on it, I think there was something to be said about it. Also looking at it from a WWE's perspective, because if you could do 90% of the job on here, you're not going to have a problem at all.
No.
So there's that. What do you think? I don't want to say this disparagingly, but what do you guys think of the whole we're going to just throw everybody on the Netflix debut? Like, do you really think that's going to be necessary?
They did it when Raw went back to USA. They have a history doing it. So is it necessary?
I
No.
don't think so.
No.
But is it something that, hey, I'm paying you this much money, I want this many people on the show?
Right.
Okay. That's what it is,
That's fair.
to be honest. Like, so.
The best thing it's going to be like, oh, shit, I didn't even know they were still on the roster. You know?
It's not still on the roster. You're going to get a Stone Cold, Hogan. Obviously, Rock's going to be there to build up something.
Yeah.
You're Undertaker, maybe. But
Shawn.
DX. Yeah, you're going to get him.
You're going to get Shawn. You're going to get Hunter. You're going to get somebody.
So, you don't know what's really. I'm going to pull a sleazy. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
3-star match.
As we kind of referenced Speed Mike Ball Bailey.
Speed Mike Ball Bailey.
Speedball Mike Bailey. No.
Got that motherfucker!
I fucked it up.
That motherfucker!
Mike Ball Speed Bailey.
Thank you. So supposedly his deal's done at the end of the year, but he's also said toodaloos to everyone already. So the suggestion is that he's just going to sit on the bench till the end of the year. They don't have anything else for him, so potentially AEW. No one really knows, but
yeah, that seems to be the place. I mean, will I love to see him in WWE? Yeah. Will it happen? I doubt it. I highly doubt it. AEW seems to be like a good fit, or New Japan, but will he go to Japan? I don't think he'll do that either. So it's AEW.
I could probably say why, but yeah. What are your thoughts on the whole JBL thing? The whole run with JBL.
So JBL's doing Pritchard's podcast now because something happened in Bruce Pritchard's like personal life or something. Like I think he's not saying what happened. I'm pretty sure his wife has cancer again.
I think
that's my guess.
Okay.
I haven't heard a rumor, but that's my guess. That would be why he's not on the show and stuff. So JBL's doing it, and then Conrad's all like, hey, like, what Fish on the show? He's like, I was bored, just clotheslines of people on the indies. Nothing else better to do. I have nothing else better to do. So
wonderful.
That's what he said. He's like, I got nothing better to do than clothesline people on the indies. Hey, it's a payday to do very little.
Exactly right.
The fucking wrestler's dream.
You don't have to take a bump.
Nope.
Yeah. Arrive, do a clothesline, leave. Not even have to do mic time. Fuck that.
You don't have to
literally just whisper in Dolph Ziggler's ear and then clothesline someone. That's it.
You don't have to take off your fucking coat.
Nope.
You can just show up to the arena. Hey, it's my time. Aha!
Yeah.
Check. Out the door.
Just give me my check.
Good for him.
Finally, they confirmed the MSG show, the holiday MSG show.
Oh, for the 26th.
Yeah, they've been getting around to it. There's some rumor that WWE was going to run Hammerstein, but aren't because AEW is running it and they had some exclusive contract for it. I don't know if that's true.
That's 100. No, it's not.
Well, the thing is that they could very well put in the contract, don't run another show within X amount of months. That's actually pretty common.
I believe that, but I don't believe WWE had an exclusive contract with Hammerstein.
Oh no, they couldn't have because GCW is running it.
Yeah, that I don't believe. I don't believe WWE is going to run Hammerstein. That's what I'm saying. Not at all. I don't believe that at all.
I would beg to disagree only because I think they would run NXT there.
Not the 26.
No, not the 26, but probably like January-ish or
I wouldn't doubt they would run an NXT show there. I'm talking about like their holiday New York show was
hell no.
Never going to be in Hammerstein.
That was 100% going to be in MSG. There was nobody had reported that. The report was that they were planning on running a show in the Hammerstein Ballroom, but it was blocked because AEW had already gotten confirmation of shows there.
I still think that's bullshit.
Yeah. I don't think it was bullshit. I think that AEW didn't announce it till later and there was some internal communication with Hammerstein and the two companies going, we would love to have you on February, but we're bringing them in for December because of, 3 nights. I don't even remember what the 3 nights were, but
it's Final Battle, a Collision, and like the Dynamite after.
Yeah. So they probably locked it up for 90 days or something, whatever. But that wouldn't apply to GCW because they'd already booked it, and B, they're not a TV company. We're seeing a lot more people on the ID program. What are your thoughts about the people they've signed so far?
I haven't looked to see the people they signed so far, but my take is, what are they labeling them as? Because this is where you can bring up the independent contractor debate. Because normally, if you are a guy or an up and coming wrestler, you want to work as many places as you possibly can. With this deal, is it exclusively for WWE, or can they work anywhere they want? Well, is it a WWE contract? You know what I mean?
Right. Well, considering half of them are working for GCW right now, like Jack Hartwheel is working for for GCW.
So that's fine then. That was my only take. Like, I don't know who signed, so I don't.
So they list 12, 13, 14, if I counted that right. 14 wrestlers currently are signed to these WWE ID contracts. I don't know what it looks like. That's the thing, is that it's a strange program. And I think we kind of referenced this earlier, when they first talked about it. I'm okay with it, but I don't understand what they're doing with them other than the fact by slapping and a WWE sticker on them so they don't go to WWE before they're ready? Like,
it's basically saying like, okay, you're the top of the indies that we think. Go work anywhere you want. However, to me, I'm saying if you're going to sign a TV deal, you have to sign with us. That's where I'm kind of seeing where that is. Like, we see something in you, but you're not ready yet. You're not ready for TV, not even NXT. So go work wherever you want to work until you get polished, and then we'll sign you. That's where I kind of see it. It's like the developmental deal.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if WWE actually has them sign contracts.
I believe they are. Yeah.
Saying that you're going to be on TV with us, but work whatever how you want.
There is something that we didn't talk about with the ID programs, and this is right off their website. WWE ID will identify top independent wrestling prospects with an official ID prospect designation and support their developmental journey. So they are most likely financially giving them money.
Yeah.
WWE ID will give the fans opportunity to follow the paths of these standout prospects. This is interesting on the independent wrestling scene through curated behind-the-scenes content, as well as highlights and matches showcased on WWE's social platforms. That's actually pretty big.
Yes.
Because now you're making stars. It's ironically what I was complaining about earlier.
Yeah.
You're making stars before they even hit TV.
Exactly. People now know this person is a big deal because they saw them on Twitter, even though they haven't shown on NXT yet.
Yeah. Okay,
I'm behind that. Mm-hmm. Anything else?
No.
I know this was a very shoot the shit show. I'll be honest with you. Next week, I don't even know what we're doing.
Full gear.
Is it full gear? Oh God, yeah, that's right. Son of a bitch. Oh God, I'm already getting.
I'm not very happy either.
Well, to be fair, it was a show that I almost went to because it's in Newark. So I'm still getting heartburn.
You mean it's in a shithole?
It's no Camden, but it's pretty bad. Heavy G, put yourself over.
You can catch me in the Hall of Famer Fatman in about 3 or 4 minutes time on the best darn sports show, period. 2, we're going to review Sleazy's picks from last week.
I don't remember them.
Well, it's good because you didn't remember when you picked them. Talking the NFL, somebody's happy. Some hockey news that happened earlier today.
Yay!
One down, one to go for his coaches. So here's in about 5 minutes time on the best darn sports show, period 2.
Cool. I'm at TWS Sleazy.
Hi.
What a fucking asshole. We are Sleazy Fatman on X. That'll probably change sooner rather than later, but I'll work on that. Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, TikTok. Please like and follow us there. Find our videos at twitch.tv/SleazyFatman, youtube.com/SleazyFatman, premium content on that onlyfans.com/the wrestling show. Like and subscribe on your favorite platform and make sure you click the notification icon on YouTube because, we do go live at other times other than Tuesday nights at 8, especially for TWS After Dark. Those shows will show up for you anytime you have the notification icon clicked on YouTube. Explore more content at WrestlingShow.com, including articles, merch, and so much more. So with a thank you to Heavy G, and as always for Sleazy.
For the Fatman.
This is a wrestling show. Thank you guys so much for listening. Peace.
Fuck Dave Meltzer. Fuck Tony Khan and his alleged cult cabinet. A hot dog's not a sandwich. A sub is not a sandwich. A burger is a sandwich. Tacos and burritos are not sandwiches, you Indiana pieces of shit. Next week, oh my God. We're full. I guess we're going full gear. I don't. I'm so excited.
Full gear, baby. We got it.
I'm a truth that you seem to run from. of one. I'm a clip in your gun.